Brand new launch within a brand new township at Springleaf called Springleaf Residence. Developed by GuocoLand, they also kick-started the whole Lentor transformation, and they were involved in 5 out of the 8 new launches that we saw in Lentor. Today, they are here to pioneer the Springleaf transformation. Let's go meet our managing partner, Ken Leong. So Ken, let's start off to understand a little bit more about Springleaf by itself. Tell us a little bit more.
Springleaf Residence is located just beside the central catchment area. It is sitting on the former Upper Thomson Secondary School. Just across the road is where your Hong Soon shop houses are, where we have a lot of famous eateries such as the Springleaf Prata that's Michelin recommended, your Ang Pang Yong Tau Fu. So there are a lot more eateries over there, and this has been quite well known for this area.
That's true.
Springleaf Residence is now going to be the first high-rise development in this otherwise very low density area. So all the buildings and residential that you see around this enclave, they are all up to about 5 stories high. So it's interesting to see how GuocoLand is coming in and to pioneer this entire transformation within the Springleaf enclave. Because of its proximity to the central catchment area, every unit in Springleaf Residence will have breathtaking unblocked views. All around us, we are either facing towards the landed enclave or we are facing the central catchment area, and they offer you beautiful views that you can't find in any parts of Singapore. And I would say that these views are more or less guaranteed because it's our central catchment area. So being beside the central catchment area, it acts almost like a natural air purifier. You get fresher air because of the trees that are surrounding, and of course, the temperature tends to be a bit cooler in this area.
So I just want to understand a little bit more. There was so much of emphasis on Lentor previously, and now we're coming to Springleaf. What's the government's intentions, their thoughts on Springleaf?
So under the URA Draft Master Plan for 2025, we know that the government's focus is going to be in the north coast and the southern coast of Singapore. This transformation will take place over the next 10 to 15 years, and these are large transformations. So where Springleaf is located, it is within 10 to 15 minutes across this entire North Coast Innovation Corridor that runs all the way from Woodlands to Sembawang, Seletar, and ending off in Punggol Digital District. These enclaves that are being formed up are supposed to have housing options and young population to move in to support the economic growth of this entire innovation corridor. In the latest master plan that was released in June, we have seen new updates along the corridor. So for example, we have seen how they have now created draft plans for Sembawang Shipyard. The shipyard has moved to Tuas Megaport. Now we have seen a new enclave coming up with residential plots, commercial plots, education plots, healthcare, all within Sembawang Shipyard. And then of course, as we move to Seletar area, where it's supposed to be a regional center, just beside the Seletar airport, they have identified 2 clusters of land to have high value added industries where they are using the lands to woo your semiconductor giants to ride on the AI wave that's happening globally now. This is how it will form up part of the innovation corridor. And of course, we move on to Punggol Digital District. It is starting to form up a lot nicer now.
It is.
We have the Punggol Coast Mall that's recently launched with all the big brands that have entered inside, all the good eateries that are all in. And of course, we know that UOB and OCBC are both building their own buildings of up to about 500 million. And we heard reports that they have about 4,000 employees from each bank that will be entering into the area to work. So this entire transformation is going to be huge. And that's the reason why the government is creating so many residential enclaves. And I think the potential for residents who buy into Springleaf Residence is going to be huge because it is just a nature area now, but it's going to be transformed into an innovation corridor, and the proximity to it is going to be close.
So I recently also heard a lot about more housing options coming up. Can you share with us a little bit more about that as well?
So in order for this entire innovation corridor to be successful, we would need a lot of population to be living near it. When we look at the housing options that are being created in the northern and the northeast part of Singapore, we know how big this entire innovation corridor will grow. They have already moved Auto out of Chencharu, and the whole plot will now become residential enclave. There's a private land that is being released under the government land sales. We have BTOs that have already been launched in the area. The government also announced the taking back of the golf courses. Orchid Country Club is one of them. The lease ends off in 2030. And the new master plan shows that initially, the whole Orchid Country Club used to be reserve sites. They have now all been transformed into residential. Even in Fernvale, we are seeing more than 10,000 new homes that are being injected. And Springleaf is just one of them. So if you look at the map of the entire transformation of what we are talking about, it looks very similar to what we have seen in Jurong Lake District, where we have a regional center within Seletar, and then beside it is a water body, and we have all the reserve lands and the residential parts that are all surrounding it. So this entire transformation in the next 5 to 10 years will become vibrant. People will get to enjoy waterfront living, amenities. And how near are we to this? From Springleaf Residence, once you pass the entire enclave of the landed houses, you are into that zone already.
Can you share us a little bit more about the connectivity buyers will get to enjoy in this residence?
Springleaf Residence have great connectivity because we are located just less than 200 meters away from Springleaf MRT station.
Okay.
And with the formation of the Thomson-East Coast line, this part of Singapore becomes super convenient. With Thomson-East Coast line cutting straight down, we actually can reach your keynotes such as your CBD, your downtown area and Orchard within 20 to 30 minutes, one straight MRT down. And now of course if you travel up north, 3 stations away, you will then be reaching your Woodlands North MRT station, and soon you will be able to transit into the RTS link that brings you into Johor Bahru immediately. Another important part is also the North-South corridor that is under construction now. We are about 3 minutes drive away from SLE. By 2030, the residents will get an alternative 5 minutes drive to North-South corridor that runs parallel like CTE, bringing you to the downtown area.
Right.
You realize over the past 10 years, a lot of the key infrastructure that government has spent so much money in are bringing people all the way to the northern part of Singapore, right? Your Thomson-East Coast line, your North-South corridor, and they are bringing people to the northern part of Singapore and then down to the southern part, which is your downtown area. And Thomson-East Coast line links you all the way to the aviation hub as well. So initially, it was supposed to end off in Sungai Bedok, and now LTA is going to move 3 stations from the East-West line to form up part of the Thomson-East Coast line, so that people will start travelling from East Coast all the way to the aviation part. This large infrastructure is another big hint by the government to show you the magnitude of how large the North Coast Innovation Corridor will be. And I think this transformation will be taking place pretty soon because everything is pushing towards your 2030 timeline.
Right. Ken, share us a little bit more about the amenities that we can expect around this area as well.
Other than the eateries that we have across on the Thongsun shop houses, we will have another plot that is coming up under the government land sales. This plot will carry some retail component. Most likely a grocer will be just across to the next plot. And of course, if you want a larger mall for your amenities, just walk to the MRT station. One stop away, you'll reach Lentor. And that's where GuocoLand is running their Lentor modern mall. We are also within the north and northeast region. There are plenty of malls to go to, like Ang Mo Kio Hub and everything. They're all a short drive away.
So we're at the model now, and of course we've got Vala, our cluster head. So maybe you can share with us a little bit more about what stands out for you, some of the unique features of Springleaf.
There are 3 firsts to Springleaf Residence. It is the first high-rise development standing tall within your Springleaf region, within a 500-meter radius.
Sure.
You have unobstructed views towards the Springleaf Forest as well as the central catchment area. You are also flanked by the landed enclave, so that's number 1. Springleaf is also the first residential development to be biodiversity sensitive. We are actually surrounded within the greenery, the forest, nature. You have a lot of wildlife living in this area. The developers have actually planned out the development in such a way that we coexist together with nature and the wildlife. And the third first to the development would be the fact that we have a conservation building which is made up of your 1 to 3 bedroom unit. But why do I say it's the first? Is because it is the first school, which was your Upper Thomson Secondary School previously, which has now been conserved into a residential segment. You have 5 other towers comprising a total of 941 units, of 1 bedrooms all the way up to your 5 bedroom units.
So Bala, I understand we're quite close to the MRT. How close are we? Where is the MRT? Share with us.
Springleaf MRT station, which is part of your Thomson-East Coast line, is just a 2-minute sheltered walk towards the MRT station. So you have 2 side gates. This side gate over here brings you towards your Springleaf MRT station.
So right about, So Bala, I noticed the block 821, it has a school compound lookalike that I'm guessing what you talked about just now, and there's a running track in front as well. Tell us a little bit more.
So this compound itself is my personal favorite. It lets you reminisce the past. In the past, our school compounds were all structured in such a manner. Today, the developers have preserved this building and made it into a residential compound. So if you can see the annexure which protrudes out from this building, that's part of your facilities. So we call this the Springleaf Club. So on the first floor, you have your air-conditioned gym, which is overlooking the field. Then you have your reading room and you also have a crafts room. And then you have your ECA house, you have 3 function rooms, and you also have a celebrity kitchen. So these 3 function rooms can be amalgamated to fit in huge party size. You can invite your own butlers to come and do the cooking for you.
And maybe you can share with us a little bit more about the other facilities that residents can expect here as well.
Okay, so typically we do have a tennis court. We managed to fit in a half basketball court. Okay, you have your 50-meter lap pool, you have your wading pool, you have your spa pool, which is surrounding the entire development. development. On the 9th and 16th floor of every tower, except for one of the towers, you do have your alfresco space. And apart from that, there are cocoons placed around the development.
Very cool.
The cocoons at the top, they are either with greens or trees planted. For example, if you have birds flying across into the development, they do not intrude into the residential private space. Instead, they nest at the top and they live harmoniously together with the residents.
That's a lot of thought that actually went through the planning.
Yes.
So we're here in our 646 square feet, 2-bed, 2-bath show unit, and we do have another 3 show units here, so a total of 4 show units at Springleaf that you can check it out. But for now, let's tell us a little bit more about the good stuff that we see here.
So we have an exclusive 215 units of this particular type. It's dumbbell concept. It brings out the space. You have privacy between the rooms. So it's vinyl flooring throughout the entire unit, and it comes with a herringbone design. It just stands out compared to other typical developments. From the dining space all the way to the entrance of the balcony, 5.3 meters in length, and your frontage is generous for a 2-bedroom. I feel it's 3 meter.
Ah, no wonder it feels so wide.
And you have your kitchen tucked at the corner.
So Bala, maybe you can share us a little bit more about the doors that we have here. I understand it's a little bit more special than usual.
The door frames, it comes attached with this imported rubber insulation, which helps with noise mitigation. Because we are surrounded within nature, strong winds sometimes perhaps, when the doors slam shut, it also helps with the noise.
Okay, very smart. So this is the second show unit we're going to show you. This is a 3-bedroom, 904 square feet. And Bala, just now we didn't mention, but I feel like the ceiling height is actually quite high.
Typically, developments normally comes with about 2.7, 2.78. We are 2.9 meters in height. For this particular bedroom type, we have 3 different 3-bedrooms. So this would fall under the C3 type, where you have a flexi room.
Right.
So we do have the smaller types, which doesn't have a flexi room. You do have another type which comes with flexi as well as a household shelter.
So we're standing here at the flex room, flexible kind of room concept. Share with us what are some of the uses that we can do here.
So there is a sliding door over here which gives you access to the kitchen. All the doors in the development except for your main door is made up of this UPVC material. Unplasticized polyvinyl chloride. So it's supposed to be weather resistant and termite free.
Standing here is our 4-bedroom that we are in. 4-bed, 2-bath, comes with a powder room as well. 1227 square feet. Bala, take it away.
You have your powder room tucked at your main entrance. As you come in, you have a very big dining area, comfortably fitting in an 8-seater. Your dry kitchen followed by your wet. Over here where we are now, the common room which is closest to the living room. For both your 4 and 5 bedrooms, it gives you direct access to the balcony. If you want to have additional privacy, you can just put in planter to separate the balcony spaces. Frontage of about 5.3 meters.
Okay. So Bala, where you're standing is supposed to be the wall. Is it going to be like this or?
You have the option of having the wall erected or not to have it, depending on how you want it. So if you want to have a bigger living space, then you can just stare down this wall and you have that space for yourself.
Okay. So standing here, this is our master bedroom. Feels pretty big for a 4-bedroom master. What's the size here?
This is 16 square meters. You have your his and hers wardrobe space, and you can see the vanity closet over there. So you have the option, if let's say you want to have a bigger wardrobe space, you can extend it out, or you can choose to fit in a dresser. King size bed, ample walking space. All our bathrooms for the C3 type onwards, it is natural ventilation. So there's no need for a mechanical vent.
Springleaf Residence will be the cheapest new launch that is within 200 meters to an MRT station. When we track all the upcoming launches, any plots that are going to be cheaper than Springleaf, they are not near MRT. So I believe Springleaf Residence should come out into the market at about average 2,002 per square foot, maybe even cheaper than what we have in the existing Lentor enclave now. This land price is a price of yesterday because we have seen how the land prices have been growing quite aggressively over the last few bits. And we think that OCR by next year, in the outskirts of Singapore, generally should be hitting a high of 2,004 to 2,005 per square foot. Along this entire year, or maybe in the next 5 years, as the government continue to release news of transformation within the North Coast Innovation Corridor, we believe the value that is already written on the cards, it will continue to increase. And this is really a real first mover advantage for any buyers or homeowners who wants to own beautiful development with a fantastic view that is almost guaranteed.
Fantastic view, you're right. So we've come to the end of our SRN New Home Showcase. If you like what you see, then we want to invite you down to Springleaf Residence to check it out. Just to let you guys know, our preview will be happening from the 1st to the 12th of August. Our consumer seminar, which will be happening in this very show flat itself, will be happening on the 11th of August. And of course, the booking day will be 16th of August. Once again, my name is Ainsley.
I'm Ken.
And we'll see you guys right here at Springleaf. Bye!